I chose to read the story A Friend Like Simon. It's about an autistic child who joins a mainstream school, and many children there find it difficult to understand and cope with this student as they're viewed as very different to them. The story encourages children to be mindful and patient of the differences that exist, and to also appreciate the positive contributions that autistic children can make to a group. So what is autism? It is, quote, characterized by difficulty in a social interaction and communication, and by restricted or repetitive patterns of thought and behavior. So this book is told through Matthew's perspective of Simon, who has been diagnosed with autism. So he views Simon as getting help from a special teacher, very shy, didn't want to really speak to others his age, liked to arrange his belongings in a specific way in order, easily upset about unwanted physical touch, and cried when patterns were broken. I believe these are all really accurate representations of autism. It's really cool that they do it through Matthew, who's a child, and his peer's eyes and point of view. So analysis is Matthew didn't really care to try to include Simon in his friend group because he was just really different, and he didn't really understand him, and didn't really try to until they're paired together on this school field trip. And this is where Simon learns that even though he and Simon are really different, it doesn't mean that they can't be friends. And from that day on out, he was always sure to include Simon in everything, and made sure Simon knew he had somewhere he belonged. Some things that were represented in this were acceptance, embracing differences that aren't to be feared, inclusion, including everyone in activities, whether it's recess, lunch, anything, and patience, having patience with each other's emotions and partners within activities. And I would love to include this in my future classroom. The themes presented were wonderful, and I think there's some really great life lessons to be taught, which for me at a younger age, for like kindergarten, first grade, but this really could be taught at any age group. An idea for a unit of study, I'd like to do like a teaching acceptance unit. I'd start off by reading the story and kind of asking students to self-reflect on what's the same between them and their peers, what's different, and that just shows that like we're all unique and we all have something to offer, and that would promote the acceptance of differences. And I would also do like little parts about how to build an accepting classroom. And then I'd like to continue continuous read-alouds about diversities, probably first focusing on disabilities, because it's not really talked about as much. And then doing what makes you unique, dive into yourself, and learn about your peers.